Hanzi heke ni waro. 𝗃_9 Mugovera Saturday. Today is 17th of June 2023. Hanzi diriwo rairo vanogara mudiriwo diriwo rarembanje vanogara mudiriwo diriwo rairo vanogara mudiriwo diriwo rarembanje vanogara mudiriwo vakomana vanogara mudiriwo diriwo rarembanje nogara mudiriwo musatambe navo vanogara mudiriwo diriwo rarembanje vanogara mudiriwo diriwo ravakomana diriwo rarembanje vanogara mudiriwo diriwo rairo vanogara mudiriwo diriwo rarembanje vanogara mudiriwo vakomana vanogara mudiriwo diriwo rarembanje vanogara mudiriwo musatambe navo vanogara mudiriwo diriwo rarembanje vanogara mudiriwo diriwo ravakomana mkomarichi diriwo rarembanje vanogara mudiriwo diriwo rairo vanogara mudiriwo diriwo rarembanje nogara mudiriwo vakomana vanogara mudiriwo diriwo rarembanje vanogara mudiriwo usatambe navo vanogara mudiriwo diriwo zvakadzvanya zvakapuresa nai regai ndisvike nekurudunura dhiriwora ndichiti maswera sei vana vezimbabwe. Sanganai neni wenyu 𝗃cie𝗵𝗿 palive on Facebook tichikurukura zviri kuitika munyika yezimbabwe naye. Hanzi kwasara about 4 weeks to 6 weeks kutiende kuma-elections, what we call harmonized elections in our country. The question is, are these elections free and fair? And the question. Anyway, let's not talk about free and fair, this and that. There are processes that Zimbabwe Electoral Commission has to do for the elections to be free and fair. As you have understood that in 2002, Zimbabweans went to court. They demanded the voters' roll, but the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission refused to release the voters' roll. They went there in 2002. They refused. 2002, 2005, 2008, 2013, 2018. In previous 5 elections, Zimbabwe opposition have gone to the court, have approached the courts to say, look, we want the voters' roll. We don't understand. We are players in this game. It's a game. It's a game of politics. And we are part of the players in this game. So what we are saying is, we want the voters' roll. We want to understand how the voters' roll is distributed, or how people are registered. Because most of opposition supporters have been removed from the voters' roll with no explanation. Zek can't explain. And so tinopa wina ere pakadai. Atetesekai tino wina. But zvakuda imimi vanhu veZimbabwe kuti right. Tavota nasi. Atisukubva pa polling station usvika tanzwa ma-results edu epano. In every place, in every place where you are, where you voted, you need to know what are the results. Because according to the Constitution of Zimbabwe, after voting, the ballot boxes are opened there and there. There are also a table. Overengwa, vanhu vese makatarisa. Sparky, how are you, sweetheart? Definitely every Zimbabwean is looking for a new thief. Politics is about thieves. we need new leadership, definitely. Ngapinde ake mkoma tafazwa zviri sei chiremba zviri kufamba here. So tonight we are going to look at that. We will look at a lot of things tonight to make sure kuti tava papi, because the purpose of this platform from today onwards, as I've mentioned earlier on, or in my previous presentation, is to raise public awareness of free and fair elections and democratic rights through, I do research here, read a lot to try to give you authentic information, checking other documentation to say, is this true, so that Zimbabweans would have first-hand information. The purpose here is to share information on elections and democratic issues in our country, in Zimbabwe. So I believe the people of Zimbabwe, that information you are getting here, it's not from the mainstream media. This is social media, where anything toxic materials discussed, anything is discussed, and what I discuss here should play a positive role or a well-defined role in shaping the politics of Zimbabwe. Panapa atite zvinodivide vanhu, tinoita zvinobatanidza vanhu kuti politics dzedu ziende mberi. Tinofanira kuita zvakaitwa kuZambia mukoma edis mahlasera, ndo zvatinofanirwa kuti tichiita chidhiriwora kuseri mudara. Thanks Chaplain, thanks so much. So we want here to discuss things that brings positive results, well-defined issues that make Zimbabweans understand where are we coming from, where are we now, and where are we heading to when we talk about the process of democracy, when you talk about democracy in our country. Recently, you had a lot of people saying there was a process in Harare province where people were selecting their candidates to stand for their wishes. Quite a number of heavyweights have fallen in Harare. I'm not privy to announce who has fallen, but through rumors, one good example is Honorable Tendai Biti, vanhu vari kuti vanenge vaitwa defeated na Makam. So we don't know, because Makam was for Harare North, a constituency which was fused into Hatfields and Harare East. So Makam chose to contest in Harare East, where Honorable Biti was the incumbent member of parliament. I understand that the results that came out there were not favorable to the honorable, or to our Honorable Tendai Biti. That means probably we might go into an election without Honorable Tendai Biti, or he might choose to stand as an independent candidate in that constituency, because he has confidence that he can win that constituency. So we don't know what's going to happen at the moment. Not only Biti has fallen, quite a number of members of parliament has fallen. I understand Honorable Zizwai, he has paved way for new blood in politics. So these are just rumors. These are not confirmed reports about the ongoings in his candidate selection. I'm not privy to the information, but this is rumors that are spreading on WhatsApp. Don't take the rumors seriously, because manye pano buda asiriwo mangwana, and mkoma you the energy tinayo tofanirwa kuwina, tiri kurara apo pa polling station, ndo zviri kudiwa mkoma Ray tondera severe, ndo zviri kudiwa mwana wamani. So rumors are milling around that we have lost heavyweights in opposition politics. It's probably this pure democracy system that has been chosen by the party. A good example, this type of democracy has never happened in our country. Remember last time when I spoke about democracy a lot, I was looking at two political parties, ZANU-PF 𝘃cie. These are two major political parties in our country, not MDC, but 𝘃cie. So this democracy, the democratic system that we have seen implemented in the 𝘃cie is one of its kind, never witnessed before in our country. Remember last time I said a member of parliament, an aspiring member of parliament, will come and stand here. He will just stand there. Another member of parliament aspiring will just stand there. A councillor, aspiring councillor, stand there. Another aspiring councillor, stand there. And then those people who choose candidates, the participants will be milling around. Then they will be told that, look, that is 𝘃cie𝗵𝗂. Those who want to vote for 𝘃cie𝗵𝗂, you can go queue behind 𝘃cie𝗵𝗂. This is what has happened in Harare East. Those who wanted Vice President Honorable Tendai Biti went to queue behind him. Those who wanted to vote Makam went to queue behind Makam. So those people in the queue, candidates there, their aides there, then you just start counting how many people behind Makam, how many people behind Biti, then you announce the results there and there. This is the purest democracy that I've ever known in this country, in the world, and it has been practiced in Malawi, I think, and then secondly has been practiced in Zimbabwe for candidate selection. So I think that will bring the best candidate to win. Anzi munanenga taure zvaunongochida iyeye munhu iyeye unobva wamuvhotera. So a lot of information was weighing against some of our members of parliament. Remember, we had a $40,000 US issue that Mnangagwa at the end of this parliamentary term. He tried to bribe, or he bribed, or he gave each member of parliament $40,000 US. There was an outcry in our country where Zimbabweans thought our members of parliament were not supposed to have accepted that 40,000, because if you go to the hospitals, we are fighting ZANU-PF government, which is collecting tax. When they collect that tax, they are not utilizing the tax where it is needed most. A good example, our tax is needed most in hospitals. There is no paracetamol, no doctors. Imagine, I was talking to one of my colleagues who said they are earning about 450 RTGs, 140,000 RTGs. On those 140,000 RTGs, the parallel market is at $1 US to 10,000. So someone is earning roughly $15 a month. Then they supplement with the $250 US a month to around $265 US a month. And nurses are earning approximately, nurses are earning 1 million RTGs, which is about $100 US on the parallel market, plus 250 allowances to make it 350. So it's nothing for a nurse to work the whole month and get $350 US. The whole month, the salary is $100 US, plus the 250 are allowances which can be scratched anytime from now. So a nurse is earning $100 US a month in our country. So when a nurse, a professional, someone who went to school, probably 3 years, did a degree or a diploma 3 years, because if you do a diploma in 3 years, you need to do a degree probably in a year or 2 years time. So earning $300 US a month, that is like tantamount to urinating in the face of the health sector. As a result, our members of parliament who were in parliament, they were the only member of parliament who did not accept the 40,000 was Makam. This Makam. The rest, I understand, they accepted the $40,000, which the people of Zimbabwe are looking at and think it's a bribe. So they have decided to punish the recipients of that $140,000. Good luck to the members of parliament who earned 40,000. Kana usina kuita musoro nayo, I don't know. Uchazoita musoro nemari yaunowana kupi. Getting 40,000 at one go. I've never, inasana bata mari yakadaro at one go, but our members of parliament, they earned 40,000. Thank you very much. Whilst our hospitals are struggling. So as a result, I understand people are hurt, people are angry that you are an opposition political party which is fighting the rotten system introduced by ZANU-PF, where judges just get £400,000, $400,000 from Norway, ministers getting 500,000, a lot of people getting monies windfall from the government whilst the masses are starving. Mango ngazidliwe pakaipa mukoma chichi. So people have decided to probably punish our members of parliament. This is the ordinary public. Remember last time I was talking about life parliamentarians. Guys, remember when we went to parliament, we were crying that a president must have 2 terms and retire. Even the constitution of this country, of Zimbabwe, it requires a president to rule for 2 terms and then step down or retire. So I don't know why people did not include that clause to say a member of parliament at least 2 terms or 3 terms, you'll be okay. Because if you look at our situation, we have got people who are live parliamentarians, members of parliament. They've been in parliament since 2000. And they are still in parliament. They are vying for another 5-year term so that there will be like 28 years in parliament. And also, I was looking at, as given a chance, the citizens can demonstrate wisdom. Thank you. I was also looking at, if you go to Zimbabwe, if you are a soldier, soldiers are required to sign a contract of 20 years. In prisons, we used to sign 25 years contract. In police, they sign 20 years or alternatively 25 years of contract. So we have got members of parliament who have exceeded already the service of a soldier, the service of a prison officer. Because if you win this term, that means you will be 28 years in parliament as a parliamentarian. Looking back again, when we formed the opposition, what we were angry about was the overstaying of Mugabe in power. After Mugabe served 37 years. When we formed the opposition, Mugabe was probably 20 years in power. So people were complaining that Mugabe is overstayed. And the same people who were complaining in the opposition are now looking for a 28-year term, 5 terms as a member of parliament. Remember, that is the most painful thing. Remember, when we formed the opposition, most of these guys were non-entities. They were people, we didn't know them. Nobody knew about them. Because in Zimbabwe, we had one political system where ZANU-PF members of parliament were the only ones known. And the rest were not known. But these guys were so vigorous. They came and we demanded that we go into an election. And they won. They started making their names in parliament. A very good example, Honorable Tendai was a well-known solicitor, a well-known lawyer. Waingo tukangosvika muHarare meme kana ukada kuita waingonzi parotono paipai paive nerimwe lawyer rainzi Bhiri nelawyer rainzi Tendai Biti handichazivi umwe wainzana Samudhara Samkange. Waiti kana musungu akati shefu ndiri kutsvaga Gweta, we used to know these guys. Say, you want a solicitor, are competent? there is tendai biti there. Otodaidzwa biti unzi uya pano pane client yako kana anenge ari kujeri munhu ari kugweta otodaidzwa unzi pane client kuda lawyer pana ndaswera nyamarupa zvirise moms murise. Saka you find kuti vanhu vaizikanwa when we formed that opposition probably ndana mudhara James Makore vanga vari matrade unionists vana mama kadi muri right here mama vana mudhara Makore who were the trade unionists vana mudhara Isaac Matongo vanga vari matrade unionists, the likes of Changirai vana mudhara Alex Maposa, quite a number vana Gift Chimanikire, I'm still vana Gibson Swanda, vana Welshman Nuwe as a lawyer. Most of the guys wasina kuya ku politics wakasara ku ZCTU. So you find very few people were known. Those who were participating in the ZCTU were the only people who had made their names, but when they came to politics, they went straight to make an impact in our politics. Hello, Adedemas is really saying, today we are talking about 𝘃cie refusal to release a voters' roll, and we are talking about the process. Voters roll, because this is 2002. 𝘃cie yakanetsa iri kuramba 𝘃cie. I think this time the 𝘃cie has used the democratic way of choosing candidates. Exactly. Because the system that we implemented all along, it was a closed democratic system where you used to vote in a secret ballot. But that was privy to rigging. That was privy to mismanagement. And a lot of people who lost elections, they were declared winners. You understand? Because nobody would know what is in there. And I don't know winner. Candidate winning. No, I'm not winning through counting. This is why Zimbabweans after TPO voters roll. We want to know how many people are registered. How many? If my results are my results are they not bloated? Quite a lot of things that we will use a voters roll. So I was talking about people who came as candidates in 2000 when we formed the opposition political, the MDC. Some of the guys were they were just coming in, little known people in politics. We had the guys like Wana Munyanyi, Chauna Munyanyi, Fombare constituency, who were just coming in, who were not known to the electorate, but who were a bit jacked up, wakatanga kujambira chinhu ichi vakabva vapinda mahofisi vakachibata vanhu vaizikanwa ndanakupa vanatokuzana ruzhinji rwanga rusingazikanwa. So these guys, they achieved something. They made their names in politics, but most of them did not even contribute in politics meaningfully, to the extent that sometimes you thought, Munane 25 years are member of parliament, Kanadane 23 years are member of parliament. A good example is Honorable Tendai Biti. He is the most effective member of parliament that we have had since 2000. And the ZANU-PF is so scared. They don't want him to come back. And Tikatamba, Zimbabwe, we are like playing to the tune of ZANU-PF. What they simply want is for the people to brush aside Tendai Biti. Tendai Biti is one of the luckiest guys. I always say this, that he is one of the luckiest guys in Zimbabwe. His constituents does not need a lot to do in his constituents. Constituents yana Tendai, I think Ward 9 ndokune kunwanka maprazi Ward 9, but I heard rana gletu inokabviswa, but kune maprazi ariko chete panzi pamukanda boots pa tobacco sales pa kumwe kwese kumadhewa namandara wana borodeo vana vanogara uko tendai. Saka kwakusina a lot to do. Kungoda kungoona tara iri right here, mvura iriko here, magetsi ariko here, vanhu vari kuva nezvichemo zvipi. He had no. Harare East was probably the easiest constituency to run. Ndaigara ndichitaurira vanhu ndikati vakomana ava they forget kana vapinda muparliament. That such type of constituency you can identify kuti marova ari munzvimbo muno munhu api kana vanhu vasina chaurira vanoda help ndavapi. You can help them. Look at 𝗿𝗲𝗂𝗶𝗂𝗏. I always refer to Honorable 𝗿𝗲𝗂𝗂𝗏. When he got in parliament in 2000, do you know 𝗿𝗲𝗂𝗂𝗏 is the only member of parliament akapuwa mota muparliament zvimanisa nadboard akachitengesa akanovakira mamai emusika aya akanovavakira musika atengesa motikari kuparliament akasara obhadhara motikari kuparliament but vanhu vakutengesa vasinganaiwe vachitina nhasi ukatoenda unzwana vaita kuti musika wakavakwa naJobscala. You understand? As a member of parliament, opposition yanga isina a lot of allocation emari dzekuti endai constituency kwenyu munoita zvakati. But Scala, with the little that he had, Scala managed to build musika. Scala was using his Maria ema allowances ake parliament to bury my members anenge afa nana St. Mary's. You know. It's a very simple thing that a member of parliament, people would remember you every time an election happens. If 𝗿𝗲𝗂𝗏 was out of prison by now, he was going to represent that constituency again because he worked with people. You know, asi munhu anga ari selfish. Kwaiti ukafiwa 𝗿𝗂𝗏 aienda otenga coffin, otenga chikafu, kana pasina munhu ane guva otenga guva, otora motikari yake otakura chituna, hama dzorerukirwa. 𝗿𝗂𝗏 oenda unoviga munhu. And those, because he knows the type of community he was serving as a member of parliament. Most of our parliamentarians who got in parliament in Obama 2000, they did nothing to the people. Vafana vakashanda navo because vafana vanenge vachishanda vachiti at least tikashandira MP tikambomhanya tikaita sei vanotionawo. Unoziva kuti $100 chaichaio. Thank you $100 ngoti Yuda, thank you so much. Wakatibatsira kukambena $100 iyi. Munhu anofa achikutaura kuti ndakapuwa $100 nahonorable tendaibiti. You understand what I mean? That is very important to the people. Because vanhu vai vanenge vachiuya vachikubatsira marari machi vanenge vasina chavanacho vachibva paya vachienda kumba vanoenda vachinorara nenzara. Vana vachisvika vachirara nenzara. Zunguva mwedzi wapera haana kana mari yerendi yekuteerera. Saka vanenge vaita so ndikaenda kwahonorable pamwe ndichapuwa $10 yandodzoka ndichitenga chingwa ndonopawo vana chingwa kumba. I'm talking about situation iri muZimbabwe at this juncture. Ndosaka uchiona zvinezvi kana ukaenda kumabhuku ndakandichitseka zvangu paTwitter. Ndichinzwa kuti hanzi mufana wembavha iya inonzi sakupwanya grade 7 dropout. Kunzi hanzi aintroduce mabhazi anotakura hanzi mabhazi 5 anotakura vanhu mahara kubva kumabhuku achienda kutown. Ndikati for how long is he going to do that? That is not what Zimbabweans want. And muri kuona maZimbabweans, they are not fish. Havana kumirira kumwairwa masefa vachingodya chete. No. They want a conducive environment where they can do business. Dai akataura kuti ari kuvaka mapigari achiita ma-youth development projects akabvira kudhara kwete zvokuti akuenda pa-election wakutaura kuti wakugredha road. Takazviona vana maumau vachigredha road yekuchikurube. He lost that election. So you are taking Zimbabweans as fools. Kuti as we move towards the election unouya kugadzira road, unouya kutaura ndaintrodusa mabhazi emahara, things that you never did before. Saka vanhu vanongoona kuti this is an electioneering situation, a process, and the people will never vote you for that. Because vanhu vada kugadzirirwa an environment that allows them to pay bus fare for themselves. Kwete zvokuti ukaenda kutauni unosvika wakamira uchimirira bhazi remahara, unosvika 12 midnight 1 o'clock wakamirira bhazi remahara risingauyi. You understand? That is not what Zimbabweans want. So whoever is advising Mpara anosakupwanya, because those that are now dzidza cannot advise himself, cannot reason, cannot think. Tell him that is not what Zimbabweans want. Hanzibadi zvawaita izvo andione zviripo koziko zvinozanika da kuti vanhu vezanu mirai mutsetse wenyu ende 𝗃cije vanosvika kumira. No, this is an internal situation at the island. It's an internal process. Nationally, that can't happen because people will be killed. And but munoziva kuti ku-MDC kana ku-𝗃𝗃𝐶 hakuna munhu anouya nepfuti kuzokuabductai kupfuura achiti wazoenderei kuseri kwamakamu, wazoenderei kuseri kwatendai bidi. This is what democracy must be or should be. And more. So we are waiting for the final result. Who has won? I'm not sure who has won there in Harare East. Some were saying bit won, some were saying bit lost. So we don't know who won in that constituency. But given a chance, I would want BT to be member of parliament for Harare East. Then Makam becomes a senator. I would want to see that type of a situation. Because once BT is effective in parliament, very effective in parliament. He cannot be socially available for his constituency because zvinonetsa kufadza munhu wese. But kana akatadza kubatsira vanhu, because vanhu vari kuHarare East vari kuchema kuti murume uyu takashanda naye kubva 2000 kusvika nhasi haana chaatiitira. You understand? Anongouya achede waadresa vanhu obva oenda, ouya achede waadresa vanhu achibva achienda. Kana zvekuti anouya obvoti ndauya pana pamukanda bhutsu, wakomana vangu muripo, tatenga mombe yaiti goche tichini, wangotenga doro, hazvidhure izvezvo. Mombe it's $100 or $200. Otenga doro $100 or $200 masesai. Mwana wakomana vachifara. Guys, thank you so much. And man, the people are complaining in Harare East. He has never done that. And vari kutaura futi kuti we've got a lot of guys vakashandira biti who were in youth vasina kana vanzi vazhinji vacho vakafa. Tendai hana kana unomboviga vafana vacho vaizikanwa kunzi taiona vafana vainzana Brian, taiona vafana vainzana Tsoro. All these guys died. So they were saying even member of parliament who never gave them assistance. Ndara chairman Mama Maposa died, and the people were complaining they never got assistance from the member of parliament. The constituents chairman dies, then the MP for that constituency doesn't come to help you. So there were a lot of grievances that were against Tendai Biti. I'm sure he might be very effective in parliament, but don't neglect your people, the people that raises you. Those are the most important people. The people that support you to go into parliament. Those are the most important people. This is why you see sometimes ukaenda kumabvuku, you like the people of Mabvuku. Because last time, vakavotera Justin Mtenda Dzamera, and he became a member of parliament at large. Vakavotera Timothy Mbau. Mbau amenda akanonetsana chi nevanhu kuparliament, vakabva vamusvipa vakatora James Maridadi. Pakapinda James Maridadi, paifanirwa kupinda James Chidhakwa. Andrikuona, ndobva president vaivepo Mundaratsvangira hameno chikiribidi chaakaita, ndobva vaisa James Maridadi, who turned out later to be a CIO, a counterintelligence officer. After he did his job, he did his duty in the MDC, he went back to ZANU-PF and appointed as ambassador, because he did his job well. He managed to infiltrate MDC. Nobody suspected it. And Mundaratsvangira, he trusted him. You understand? No, pamurikona vanhu vakazopenga vakati aiwa katakati James Chidhakwa apinda ko zvakazofamba sei. And people now are resorting back to very poor people. Munhu asina chaanacho anoziva kuti hakanganwe. I still remember ndichitaura naHonorable Chidhakwa achiti mukoma madi manitsvagira mabhora, ndine tikatimu kamwe kari kutamba ndingoda mabhora chete. Tikatenga mabhora pakauya bvondo, mabhora akaenda. Vafanira kanotamba mabhora. Andi muri kuona. Because munhu are always in touch negrassroots. Saka sometimes mungatora munhu akaita a lawyer, anenge achida kuenda ku-law firm kwake, anenge achida kuenda kuparliament, anenge ane mabasa, anowandirwa nebasa kuti azofunga about your constituency, zvinonetsa zviya. And James Maridadi was kaki iti kamunhu pakaipa andichazoona chimunya mangwana. Thanks so much. So you understand what I mean. Sometimes my members of parliament are true chooser. We blame them for not coming back to us. We don't look at their commitment. Vamwe masolicitors vanonga vachida kuswera vari malaw firm vachipinda makotsi vachibvapo vachimhanya kuenda kuparliament, vachibva kuparliament. A lot anofanira kunoverenga mutemo, anofanira kunodebata mukoti. A lot, those people vanenge vane a lot to do. Saka muri kuona ndakutaura kuti zviri nani kuchinja macaliber of my members of parliament. ndakafarira president chamisa vachitaura kuti at least have a diploma. Iwe nekachikoro kekuti ukapinda muparliament panodiscusswa mutemo legislation, you understand panodiscusswa mutemo. Mitemo painodiscusswa muparliament, masections achiiswa, you understand and you contribute. This is why we saw 𝗃𝗲𝗵𝗃𝗃. I saw 𝗃𝗃𝗵𝗃 as vital. Because most of our members of parliament atinoona wakaita sana tichaona munyanyi. Kutonyora kwaito munetsa ticha. Angari homboy wangu kumagunjo. Kutonyora kwaito munetsa. But those are like the type of members of parliament that right now. Aitotambura nekunyora. Asiri ega vanga vakawanda. Yekutoti kuti munhu asimuka ataure muparliament in English zvaitorema. Saka pakanzi at least choosaiwo munhu ane kachikoro mbichana kuti anonzwisa mutemo painenge ichidebhetwa muparliament, because parliament is setting mitemo ichabatsira iwewe neni mangwana. Panenge pakupushwa mutemo yekudzvanyirira ndopamaiona 𝗃𝗃𝗵𝗃 achisimuka richihonga 𝗃𝗃𝗵𝗃 andimona. So takapinda it is obvious ari kutoapoendwa kuita minister of finance because ndo kwake. He is the gentleman is so lovely, man. He's so lovely in terms of wisdom and knowledge. I love 𝗃𝗃𝗵𝗃. I like 𝗃𝗃𝗵𝗃. And kana achinzi adyiwa zvake namakamu, it's politics. We have got no control over that, but definitely I would want him to be in parliament to lead. So we must, ladies and gentlemen, look at the efforts that some of these members of parliament put when they were in parliament. Ngatisangonakidzwe nekuti munhu arida kungoita member of parliament motomhanya kuti ndinganoita musingatarisewo effort yaakaita. If we look at 𝗃𝗃𝗵𝗃, he put a lot of effort, especially in parliament. The guy was so effective, but unfortunately kana adyiwa, there is nothing we can do. There is nothing we can do. But I would love him to be there leading when we are discussing the law. So this is like what I've said, the goal of today. We are going to discuss that as well. And we are looking into why 𝗃𝗃𝗃 is refusing to release the voters' roll. And behavior 𝗃𝗃𝗃 hanzi anogona kudzoka neproportional. Yeah, he can still come back proportional, but what I want is let these guys understand. Makamu 222 BT 255. Yeah, that was Ward 9 chat. T announced an first year angarima results Ward 9, and there is Ward 18. Because the Vunza one Ward 46 yakabviswa. So Harare East ane 2 ward in a Ward 9 in Ward 18. Saka ayo results abuda ku Ward 9. Eku Ward 18 makamaro 178 something. I'm not sure that one actually. Saka if you tally them, single chiroza tendaya nenga ajgiwa according to the results which are there. Because ataurwa pipeline day 1 ward, which is Ward 9. Anzi makamu wacho ane nharo, ane nharo murungu yao, ane nharo. Even ma 40,000 akaramba kati anditora, I don't want. Because yawanda undipa yacho ngavaende vatenge paracetamol kuparire nyatwa. You understand? So people must understand, guys, that we are a political party. We are not an employment agents. We don't employ people. We are a political party. We need to go through an election process, a national, a party election process, a national process, election process as well. That people must understand what a political party is. Because we are having a problem. This political party belongs to them. This is an opposition political party, which does not belong to one person. Any one of you can become a member of parliament. But it depends on how you present yourself to the people, sell yourself to the people. And if you were a member of parliament before, people would want to see certain results. So that kana une constituency yakata sembari, kwe kuna wafana mpanje, wafana veduru, wafana ungana madriora. Saka vanenge vachitarisa kuti MP wakauya panapa, vanosiya kuti tikandira kana kuti madhora. Ndakaona sei wiki newechivayo achitenda vanhu kumasoko kuti makanditira munamato ndikahwina nyaya dzangu kuchechi, akatenga motikari kutengera muprofita wake akauya kuno kuuk akazvitengera maRolls Royce ake, akaunganidza mapostori paanonamata akati tairaini achivapa $100 each. Vanhu vaitanzi id that had nothing to do with id. Ndise wiki nochivhaya akaenda pamasowe pano hanzi vaimbiri vangu vaiimba ndichipinzwa mugwanza ndichinamatirwa kunzi ndibire hurumende, mweya mutsvene ukatenderana nazvo. Saka akaenda akanotenga motikari akatenda maprofita ake nyowani mafortuna, akaenda akanozvitengera motikari dzake. Musuna hanzi akatenga ndege futi, akauya nema-US dollar mukwaba. So akati mapostori epandonamata itai raini, vanhu vakaita raini. Aitenda mupostori umwe neumwe $100 achita kuti makaita basa, maiimba ndichivakirwa mutero kundiende ndonowina nyaya dzangu court. As I like the competition triples, the old guards are getting shaken. Exactly. So if we are a political party as well, if we are like a church, election, I should go back to the people, talk to the people, be with the people, at least go attend. Ndikauya kana nema $10 chaiyo chakwaita raini, guys, makaita zvakanaka, makandivhotera $10 havambofaka kukanganwa. Andiona, because izvozvo unenge watanga kuunderstand what are the major functions of a political party. And major functions, hanzi mari dzenyika dzakubiwa nachibvayo. Akatoenda kumasowo akati mwari nini ndiri mbavha, ndauya pamberi peuso hwenyu Jehovha kuti dai mandikomborera mari dzangu dziri kubatwa nezesa dai andipa mari yangu. Miteuro ikavakwa, vanhu vakanotsanya vakarara makomo, anditi chimbavha chikatenderwa, munhu akapuwa mari dziye akanzi makati aiso mupei 25,000 mupei 5,000 mupei chi, akatenga maRolls Royce akatenga dzimba dzake akauya nema5 I think $1 million yakauya nayo achitenda mupostori umwe neumwe $100. You understand what I mean? But zviri kuitwa kuchechi kumasowe. We are a political party ine members of parliament who rely on a structure. Ndikakutaurira kuti each and every constituency district ine structure yaro. Vanhu vemudistrict mako vanofana kufara nazvo, vanhu vekumasero kwako vanofana kufara nazvo, vanhu vekumaward nemabranch vanofana kufara nazvo. Ukavaunganidza vanhu vaivo ndoziva kuti ndo mastructure angu wati, oh guys, thank you so much. Because unenge watanga kuunderstand the functions of a political party. If you don't understand that party system, hauna kwaunoenda samember of parliament. Ndoska uchiona vazhinji vanongoita one term vanotomudzinga kuti hatichamudi. Because people expect that you are a member, they are a member of parliament. Ukauya kwana pane chembere panapa isina chekudya uri MP, unokodzera kufonera TM. Mune chingwa here kana zvimwe grocery amuda kudonetawo, ndine chembere dzangu 2 panapa dziri kufa nenzara. Woita zvimafudu hamba zvako uya kuti MP wauya apa upuwa zvinhu zvavadoneterwa kusvika upawo kuti vanhu vadye. Ndozvo basa raMP, ndo basa raMP. Andiona. Saka if you start understanding that, tinenge taakuunderstand nyika yedu chayakapira is a multi-party system. Although we are in a one-party system, we understand it. This is the reason why you see ZANU-PF ichitaura zeke kuti amuburitse voters roll, because that is a one-party state system. But that doesn't function, because if you look at it, zeke yacho kana ikaramba nevoters roll, people were still voting. 2008 ZANU-PF was defeated, pasina voters roll yakapuwa vanhu. Saka people, if ZANU-PF is instructing ZEC not to release or influencing ZEC as a government not to release the voters' roll, we can still win the election. You understand? We did it in 2008. We can still win the election. No matter that there is one-party political system in Zimbabwe, we can still win. During Ian Smith's time, there was one-party system, but the blacks still won. And won. Saka chirikudiwa apa ndechekuti which party is dominating, and we all know 𝘃𝐶 is dominating. This is why you see even ZANU-PF is panicking. Munanga gwari akaenda kuAnglican osvika opfugama obatwa pamusoro, oenda kumapostori opfugama obatwa pamusoro, oenda kuba hachazivi pekubata. Is all over machurches achitry kuti pamwe mweya mutsvene ungamubatsire. He knows that there is an election and an election can swing. It's a good lesson that Mugabe thought these guys belonged to him, but eventually they removed him. So when I'm not going to ordinary povo, don't ever think they are ZANU-PF people. When it comes to election, he understands it. This is why you see he is always panicking. ZANU-PF is always panicking because it knows. Now, don't ever think with David. But in the other ones, what can chingwa. Vanongoya chero zotaimira panokandwa chingwa. Kana maslogan enyuchita ungato simudzi. Vanokutaimira parupu wanandosi. Uenda unotora chicken in urova udzokera kumba. Chet at least run has angaziva kuti ndadya. Andiri mon. Yes.
What's current?
Huh?
What's current?
Is he not abscess?
No.
Ask Ruby. Sorry guys. And the morning that Saka, a political party Zimbabwe, it operate in a way that our people accept us. Because what are we seeking to do is to control the government by winning elections. And when we win elections, we hold an office. This is what we are seeking. Apana chimwe chinhu chamurikuona chiri kuitwa noise pepe. It's just to win election, control government. We want to control the government by winning election, and we want to hold office. This is what we want. When we win elections, when we hold the office, we collect tax to the people. Then we disperse that tax to the ingaita kuremarara, ingaigadzire marod, ingaigadzire zvipatara. Totengesa minerals enyika asingapinde muhomwe dzema individuals. Those minerals must come into the pockets of the government. Yatoti treasury ichaloketa mari vanhu vachihora mari inokwana. Ndakutaurirai guys, with all the mineral resources that Zimbabwe has, Zimbabwe can afford to pay 15 million people every household can afford to get $500 to $600 a month. Government it can afford that. But a road. Every family in Zimbabwe, 15 million people, you can get paid $500 a month per person. You can earn that. And Zimbabwe is capable of doing that. This is why you see we are saying we need new leadership. We need new leadership. We need to win elections so that we introduce a government. We control that and people will get the money. I think that question is very complicated. I've seen a serious accident that occurred today in 𝗁𝗲𝗂𝗂𝗂. Did you see those the photos? It's so sad. A commuter bus rada kuovertake pa blind spot akanoruvana ne lorry ranga rakatakura ma bricks pafiwo. Driver asiya ichipanzi kudai. Andimona pafiwo. Atina kuona helicopter. When these helicopters came, they were told that they are going to operate referring people from accident scene to the hospital. We didn't see the helicopter. Up to now, I was asking people in 𝗁𝗲𝗂𝗂𝗂 that anyone who saw those helicopters coming to ferry the injured people to Parenyatwa, nobody saw them. And panemukadzi anga chitonzi ari pakati pemavhiri echidhina rori rezvidhina anga chizi haana kufa vanhu why can't we pull her out? You understand? But that helicopter was nowhere to be seen. There was no ambulance. Vanhu vanga vachingosimudzwa nevanhu vasingazive kubata kuti kana pachinge paita accident. Let me tell you, according to my knowledge, ema-accidents as a nurse, as a driver, pakaitika an accident pana and helicopters to rig my elections, yes. Pakaitika an accident pana, if you are the first person kusvika pa accident pa, what you do is you switch on your hazard lights to warn other motorists kuti pana ba reduce speed, there is danger there. Right, after that you walk around uchitarisa vanhu varipo kuti hapana munhu ari in danger. Kana pane danger of fire, danger yekuti munhu anogona kutsikwa nemotikari, this is where you can only lift an injured person. Kana pasina any danger, iwewe just walk around uchiona kuti vapenyu here, uchifonera vanhu vari trained, uchibata veemergency kuti mhanyai pano pane vanhu vakuvara zvakaiparara. Kana pano unoona kuti ari danger kuti anogona kuti run over by other cars or anogona kutsvira mumotikari, ndo paunobvumirwa chete kumudhonza muendesa panhu pari safe. But scene of accident, if you are not a trained doctor, a trained nurse, or a trained someone to deal with accidents, you are not allowed to interfere kana kubata vanhu vakuvara pa scene of accident. You are not allowed. You are not allowed. Kunyangwa ane chimuti muziso haubvumirwi kudzura. Kunyangwa akabayiwa nebanga chara haubvumirwi kudzura. You understand? You go jam, you go there, ugara naye chete chimashow, no, I've called this and that, don't worry, vari kuuya vari kuta say, haubvumirwi kana kupa mvura yekunwa chaiyo. You are not allowed. Because I was the extent of injury in a moon. Yeah. You understand? So, tandachitarisa kuti zuva rasekwa tunoona here maambulance aitaurwa. I didn't see any air ambulance yauya paipai. So zvekutaurwa namukoma chichi zvokuti they are just there to rig elections. Yes, helicopters are going to be used to kill people. Vachisimudza vachinokanda mule 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 zvituna. Ndochete zvavakatorotengera mahelicopters aya. Andini mona. So we are going into an election. As a political party, we aim to govern that country. We aim to bond people together. We aim to inform Zimbabweans. They must know what is happening to them. This is why when it comes to nomination of candidates, you need vanhu vanoziva zvavanoita kana vachinge vapinda muparliament. Tine parliamentarians who never spoke, spent 5 years in parliament, never said a thing. Verengai ma-answered. Ndopaunoona kuti uyu munhu hapana zvaaita muparliament. Andimona. Because in parliament is a place where we debate. A lot of laws were passed. Mtemo isina kumira zvakanaka inodzvanyirira vanhu. Wesi mtemo yakapinda nguva yema recalls. Douglas Monzora recalling people. Ma draconian laws going through. And pamaiona pataitaura kuti munhu yakatengwa. Kuti haungadzinge vanhu vari elected kuti vasadebate this law. Say what happened in parliament. Zvimtemo zvakapinda muparliament vana bill inonzi chii chakaiswa recently chekuti you are not allowed to criticize the government. Andimona. So as a political party, when we are looking for candidates, we want people, we are a major political party, we want people who can debate. Traditionally, we want people who are going to debate against like that bill. Chinonzi chimtemo chakaiswa recently chachi. Andimona. Saka if you look at Zimbabwe, ndaitaura bururongo, ansafidza hapana kana chaakataura, not even one thing chaakataura. Chinotimba aingosimuka obhonyoka vanhu maiwe MP vanhu kutokurudzira benzi muparliament. Imagine chinotimba zvaitaura muparliament. Achinzi President Nelson Chamisa wakataura kuti chada hanzi 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 akunzi United MDC president. Maicha mukandarira nyaya 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 yachipatriotic bill chiya mukoma tawanda. Maicha mukandarira nyaya 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃. Let me be honest to the people of Zimbabwe. Remember when 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 was said to be contesting in Cowdrey Park, I was against 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃's candidates there. I didn't want 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 to come to the �CCC or to represent the �CCC in any capacity. I didn't want. But ndakazogara pasi through kutaura nevamwe vanhu, pane munhu one akazonda ari nhasi apo panapa mugiza akazonditi mukoma Shepherd, I want you to be objective here, right? 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃, even when Tsvangirai was alive, 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 akataura zvealliance zvandidi, zvekubatana nanhingi vakambopanduka hatidi. Andimona. 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 went her own way, stood her ground as a principled person, right? So to me, we cannot say 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 is more dangerous than Morgan 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃. When we come back to Morgan 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃, he professed or he pretended to be a loyal member of Chamisa, to be loyal to President Chamisa. And to the extent that kugwera akataura akati handife ndakamusiya this young man. kunyange mukandibvisa around him, I'll be with him. Right. Then opportunity came for 𝘃cije to leave Chamisa. He went on to say, all along, I was spying on this young man. So 𝘃cije becomes the most dangerous politician than Kupe. Yuda, one general, really say monoma. So you find good muna anonyepera kuve lawyer kwa uri. Apedza azova azotaura no, he was spying on you. Auchazivi what type of information did 𝘃cije spy from President Nelson Chamisa? You understand? Zvekuti 𝘃cije kana munhu anga ari spy, 𝘃cije was the only person around who was being trusted by President Chamisa. Ari munhu wokunzi kana mvura yainwa President Chamisa, 𝘃cije aigona kuti ndauta tanga ndaiona inini kuti mungape mupanhu wangu poison. Chiimagine imanje munhu akadaro obva achitaura zvezvandaita zvezvava just spying on him. Then today odzoka wataura kuti toti supportai President Nelson Chamisa. He is the most dangerous politician I've ever known. Zvekuti kana kuuraya Chamisa, 𝘃cije anogona kuuraya. Ndonibati kutaura kwangu, 𝘃cije can kill Nelson Chamisa. Never trust 𝘃cije again. Because when he just said, I was all along spying on this young man, and he joined in the recalling of members of parliament. Aite senator and Chamisa. Senator and Chamisa. So they gave themselves false hope, hoping that wacha destroy Nelson. Hans 𝘃cije zvakatanga achidya ugweru. Ipo paakadya ugweru paipa. Akapa speech yekuti vanhu vakati baba Abraham achibva apo achibva atanga unobonyoka. So we knew little about him, that this gentleman was a spy. Considering our previous experience in the MDC, where we saw the likes of 𝘃cije going back to their counterintelligence organization in CIO, seeing James Mardad returning back to their work, we now understand when someone is saying he was a spy. We now understand that. And he is not the only one in the 𝘃cie who is a spy. There are still a lot of spies. Now people are pointing them out. And in more. So history has taught us that he never accept, because he never accept 𝘃cije back. Never accept him. Because why Thokozani akaenda kumatebeleland na Love Momoyo vakarova vafana veMDC vanasheki mukoyi vaivatumwa napresident Tsvangirai kuti ndaimunodaidzira vice president vaitite meeting yealliance. Thokozani akataura kuti I'm an elected vice president inini, imimi hamuna kodzero kuya kuzondidaidza kuti president vati zvakati. Andimona, he rebelled against President Richard Morgan Tsvangirai because he stood the ground izvo handizvidi. But not someone anoti izvi ndozvida. Ouya onyepera kuita kunge munhu wenyu achifamba nemi muchidya naye. Judas Iscariot chaiyo. 𝘃cije Judas Iscariot. Judas Iscariot chaiyo. Never trust that 𝘃cije unless if you want Chamisa to die. This is when you can trust 𝘃cije. Because if he had shown what he showed us later, we were saying, he's a principled man. But he went on to destroy the everything that Chamisa had built. And after destroying everything that Chamisa had built, and he's now trying to find his way back. I was United MDC, what. We don't care. They can split and form 1,000 MDCs. We are no longer MDC. It's very unfortunate. And I don't think people should allow 𝘃cije to come around President Nelson Chamisa. And the President Nelson Chamisa vataurire kuti maRussians anotamba nana 𝘃cije ava, mabhosi vana 𝘃cije vanotamba nana Mnangagwa vanofamba nemaRussians. Even Kupe wacho, they should treat him with care. Bosi vanhu vangu vanogona kupuwa inonzi 𝘃cije vakauraya. Bosi ezvinezvi kune mushonga, dakutaurirai. Kune mushonga unoshandiswa nemaRussians. I want you to know this. MaRussians vane mushonga unosprayiwa. Urikuona cheya yangu yandakagara inoyi, anongosvika ongospraya panogara vanhu apa chete. anospreya mushonga unopinda nekumashure. Hazvina basa kuti wakapfeka hembe kana wakaita sei, ukangonogarira mushonga iwoyo, because kumashure kweduku kuri so delicate, saka chino ukavaviwa nongo chingokwenya kutani kubvaruka. Saka mushonga easily assimilated malipsum nekumashure zvakafanana, kana kuti mukati meziso nekumashure zvakafanana. Saka mushonga yao unopinda nekumashure. Kana wapinda nekumashure paungotanga kukwenya paipa unongo uchitopinda mushonga wewe, wakutonzwa ne𝗿𝗲𝗪 wakutofa. So be very careful guys. Hanzi kwaMosibaya aimbo muti 𝘃cije𝗁𝗶𝗿 achimuti Mr. Fake Result. Because nobody knew Pai Nyamaropa. Nobody knew what 𝘃cije was up to. We thought he was a comrade. And I think you should be in touch with President Chamisa, help our young brother. Obviously, Mazwana and one Subtarana president, I think he's very busy, but most of the time, my presentations are one of my own. Kudara wait, Wakamaona, my presentations, why Mugakusen, Wajiseka, ha? You don't him scans one night, Tofa the Gusek, Zungwa and Garipo. He might be here. Plutonium, yes. Thanks, Mgoma Chichi. Saka, it's plutonium. Plutonium, processwa. Ya processwa, it's gonna jira. It's not powder form, but when you go processwa, it's pa jira. You to guy garira iwewe chete into pinda neku bekalo. Yesu kuti kumashure. Kubekalo, uyaone kumashure. Kubeki, kubekalo, uyaone kumashure. Imama. Iko kumashure kwedu kwatinotana kudodo. Plutonium inopinda. Saka processwa, Russians, they're expert in this. Very expert in killing. That's the way Russia kills. Saka, chenjerera ivana wakaita sana kupewa vanana 𝘃cije. Who pretend now to love President Chamisa. Vanogona kungonosvika ofafadzira mbichana akagara mukomana anyura. Inini I would advise President Chamisa kuti kana vachifamba zvavo kana motikari mavo meme ngavafambe kana necheya yavo chaiyo. Cheya. Glazi remvura ngavafambe neravo. Ngavamwe mvura inobva kuna mai Chamisa. Glazi remvura chairo ngavafambe neglazi ravo remvura. Because plutonium ye inongonzi pa glazi remvura mbichana chete. Ochaya zvatopera. Ropas. This is how Russia kills its opponents. And this is why vana Putin vari ma-experts in killing. Avatambure newe kuti aiwawo. Vanonga uchitokuona uchitaura uchiita noise uchiita sei. Vanongoziva kuti one day plutonium inokupinda chete. Ndo utanga kuora matumbu, it's radioactive. Utanga kuora matumbu. Ine half life uchiora matumbu putika uchijiwa mukati. Zvinoita acid zvezvo uchijiwa mukati urwa pasi. And he should not trust anyone. Yeah, with what 𝘃cije showed, who was close to the president. Akangari election agent ya president, but he is the one akazotaura kuti he was a spy, spying on the young men all along. That makes President Nelson Chamisa not trust anyone. He must never trust anyone. So these are the reasons, ladies and gentlemen, that we need to guard jealously. Guard Damurume anonzi Chamisa. We need to guard him jealously. Remember last time paida ku assassinate kwa paya. Ma-army generals chaiwo vatakataura navo vakantaura vakati Shepherd kana uchikwanisa kusvitsa message svitsa una Chamisa kuti at this juncture he must wear a bulletproof because ari kurwa pasi. Andimuri kuona information tikaita convey patakazomhanya takutaura why can't we buy a bulletproof car, and some people were asking, hey, bulletproof car, I don't want to tell you whether the car is there or not, because tikakutaura kuti motikari iripo yacho muchatanga kuda kutsvaga kuti bulletproof ndeipi. Tinopfurwa president wedu akafa. Anyambona. Saka mukanzwa varota noise kuti hey, bulletproof car siyana ina vataurei kuti motikari takatenga iripo. But we are not going to tell them which one is which. ndakatombopopotera 𝗿𝗲𝗳𝗃𝗃 ndikati mapicture amaposta aka vanhu vakubva vatoona kuti mukati memotikari bulletproof makadai vanhu painonge yakufamba vandoona paconvoy kuti iyo bulletproof iyo bulletproof andimona, which is not good. Ndakatobvota akati mapicture aka achatipinza busy because they will be trying to identify nemaseats kuti bulletproof ratakaona kaya yakapostwa naDr.Judge ndeipi andimona. So there are quite a lot of reasons that Zimbabweans must consider when we are choosing members of parliament, because right now members of parliament are going to report that now 2002 takachema toda voters roll, takachema toda voters roll haina kubuda, and nobody discussed that in parliament kusvika tasvika 2005 elections. The same issue cropped up. The same issue of voters roll cropped up. After elections, people forgot. Nobody spoke about it. Until we go into 2008 election. It cropped up again. People went to courts. Voters roll was never released. After elections, when to far out to 5 years time. Tashka 2013. Vakumanya futi kuma courts to voters roll. Guys, you are not serious. Kana mati muda voters roll 2000 year. Chita yuti kana parliament macha amcha gaveneke. Takamoshka da 2/3 majority guys in parliament. Parliament akasafana ugaveneka vanhu vachitaura kuti ayoka takaenda election ine vamwe vanhu vakanyepera vanzi vadyiwa vasina kudyiwa. Toda voters roll yacho ngaiuye kana parliament ti debate. Andimona. Vanongoti panongopera election vakudya awina kutona handa akutodya. So autokanganwa kuti no, we are not sending you, we are not deploying you to parliament to go and feed or to work for your family. We are sending you to go and represent us. If that voters roll, if we still want it even after election, we want the voters roll. And the parliament must debate it to say, look, why is ZEC refusing with the voters roll? Are there any contributions on Dira's tombstone? Until now, Mkuma man, ndangopuwa 20 pounds and ndakapuwa na tete vaya chete and sandawana kana send. So we are still, I was gonna talk about it at the end. My bank account is still open, guys. Those who are willing to contribute, I've got 20 pounds that was contributed. Nasina vamwetete vakabva vandishipa ndaisa 20 pounds my account mako yeTombstone yatondera indira. Until now, nothing has been deposited in my account. Alexander vakamuraya muLondon. Mfesi yemo zati vakamuraya sei. Ndakaiverenga nyaya yacho. Akaurawa netsono. Vakatora plutonium 210 ndobva vainyika mutsono. Saka vainyika mutsono ndobva vanoisa kumberi kwe umbrella. Saka anoona kwainaya. Kwaipfunapfuna zvako munhu mvura yangati perei. Munhu akasvika padhuze naye akamubaya netsono yanga neplutonium. Angomuti dyu. Saka nawabayiwa iye akangonzwa kwakuvaviwa chete mumwe munhu arumwa nesomething kana kuti arumwa kana nesvosve ndobva atotanga kutokwenya. Then it spread all over his body. Akabva anzi ane cancer. That guy died. He was a Russian spy. Akada defect akauya ku-UK. Ndobva afa neradiation. Akafa achinzi ane cancer. Yeah, thanks Mkoma Chichi. Ainzi Alexander Litvinenko. Remember that gentleman. So Russians, they kill in that style, and that caused an outrage between Russia and the UK government. So the problem that we are facing now as we move towards the election, our party, we've got a lot of ideologies that we follow. Our party is like an economic Protestant party. We protest because of the economy. Our ideology or our beliefs are to run a country. We are not a single lifespan party. Panokopera election party no bayafa, the party will split as what Obed Gudu thought that the �CCC is going to split very soon. I told him it will be good riddance of rubbish because tinenge takuona kuti people causing splits in the party, are they genuine freedom fighters? Are these people trying to fight to free Zimbabwe, or they are fighting to feed their stomachs? For some people, they use kapawa kawana kuti ndozikanwa nevanhu. He's not there for freedom of the people, but he's just there to feed himself. Guys, I've been doing my live on Facebook in every election. Kutanga kunana 2013 kubva kudhara ndichiita my live on Facebook. If I was doing this to feed myself, by now ingadenda ane mari. I used to do live on Facebook every single day, 8 o'clock. For 365 days times 5 years. How many days did I do my live on Facebook? How many hours did I spend talking about Zimbabwe, talking about MDC, now talking about 𝘃cie? Nobody paid me. Nobody paid me a cent. Nobody. You understand what I mean? Because I am looking I'm looking forward to free Zimbabwe. I want a free Zimbabwe. A Zimbabwe that works for everybody. But never one or took some parliament who are looking for a job, who are job seekers. If they are voted in parliament, one chinoya kumberiko chinoona inini. Atowana basa, rekutoita, atowana fortune yemahara muparliament, apuwa ma-allowance akutovaka imba yakakutoita kana chigrosari akutoita mari. Forget about the constituents and forget about the people. And we have got, when we are going towards, we need to be very careful. We have got small political parties, Zakata Sana MDC. We have got small political parties, Zakata Sana Lead. I think Lead is bigger than MDC now. And the one. Treatment small political party, so pane party inonzi 𝗿𝗲𝗳𝗃𝗃 Zimbabwe. We have got a political party, a new political party in Zimbabwe, 𝗿𝗲𝗳𝗃𝗃. That is a very small political party. Those small political parties, call live here, did not save it. I did not post it on YouTube. I'm going to post it on YouTube. Because yeah, we have got a new political party 𝗿𝗲𝗳𝗃𝗃. That political party that is just a spoiler. It's not a political party. It's a very small and unknown political party in Zimbabwe. Those small political parties that are waiting for disgruntled members of ZANU, disgruntled members of 𝘃cie to take away the votes from them. And not to dance a political party is serious to win an election. Honestly, political party 𝗿𝗲𝗳𝗃𝗃 win an election in Munyika. And these are just spoilers which sprout out during elections. Time when they take too much my political party, Dr. Manyika and Noah Manyika. Then nothing of party Manyika Noah in 𝗃cie. You understand? One was not focused in parliament, in politics. Then there's no other Simba Makun. Vakambo Mayan too much my party to my defunct tones and Amavambo. Akuna party Agadaro. Those are just spoilers which are designed to take away votes, opposition votes, or split opposition votes. Kanawar Zimbabweans are serious about change. Zimbabwe is a two political party system. It was initially ZANU-PF against MDC. Then Morgan Tsvangirai spied on MDC, destroyed MDC. Morgan 𝗃𝗵𝗄𝗃 and the Monzora. They spied on the party, sold the party to ZANU-PF, destroyed the party. Those are the souls of a devil. And the Mona. This is not the time for spoilers. This is why you see ZEC is refusing kutipa voters roll again. Because when I but too much spoilers. Imimi ikanamgara achapinda election uta is free and fair already. But too much spoilers tunopinda. Our election was held free and fair. Badaro too much spoilers jamari. Istaka garata ango pita mako chimirira kuti 2028 or 2030 election. I saw 𝗃𝗵𝗄𝗃 is a new suit. Yeah, honestly, he's wearing a new suit, driving a new car. Monzora is driving a new car right now. Mudzura nyarara mdara o ijga. Guys, Tsvangirai was surrounded, I'm telling you. Mogiza was surrounded. I don't know kuti zvaimbofamba sei, but Mdara wedu was surrounded nema-characters ari dubious. Ekuti nhasi uno ndopata kuona kuti Mdara uyu haimborarama. Mdara Tsvangirai hakuna mararamiro aiita, because he was surrounded nema-wolves, and those wolves now ndovari ready to do anything. They never criticized Tsvangirai Rimpenyu like what Kupe did. And they never unaddressed Tsvangirai. Never. But now, you gotta honor the way these guys are doing, driving new cars, ma Mercedes-Benz. I not do them latest nyoan motor infamana monzora nyoan. Ulo fem monzora yae aina kana client kana one. Aina. Kutangana tenga Benz ye $180,000 US. Akaiwana kumari yacho. Andora Mdara Tsvangirai was surrounded. He was a Democrat, but even a poor judgment. Ndogara nchitaurira vanhu ndikati Mdara Tsvangirai, he was a Democrat. Someone anobelieve kuti munhu anogona kusiya zano akajoina MDC. Achitouya achitomupa position. But Mdara vanga vane poor judgment. A very poor judgment. Now, if you sit down and read properly what Mdara Tsvangirai went through, isusu takafamba naye Mdara wedu ndomuziva. But judgment chaiyo Mdara haanga ne poor judgment. He was a very good leader, a Democrat, but haanga ne poor judgment. Mdara Tsvangirai akari munhu wekuti ukamutaurira kuti Mdara munhu uyu mutengesi uyu, Mdara Tsvangirai kuti aiwa chipadhaya kuti hazvina basa, chero achishandira musangano. Mdara wedu akafa nenharo, akasvika pakuurawa. Munin'ina wake chache weropa buda ndibudewo akuzanu-PF. Hazvinoti akatanga ari kuzanu. Aigara muofisi, waiti ukaenda paHarvest House munguva waitanga unoona Mdara uya munashoya, waitanga unosvika kumuona Mdara muri sei, usati wakaona Mdara Tsvangirai. Pana Morgan ndopaive. Morgan wafa adzokera kuenda kuzanu, akuzanu. Uri kuona vanhu vaive kuti Morgan ari mupenyu vanga vakutoverenga nhaka kuti uyo Tsvangirai akafa ndichatora icho ndotora icho. Andona munhu achakasimba asati arwara vaitoverenga nhaka madhara aya. Mwana wamai vako, imagine. Hakuna chandaifarira. Mwana wamai wangu kuurawa nezana. Ndina sister akatochwa akafa nezana. I don't go to ZANU-PF. Andiri muri kuona. Hapana imboda Save. But Save aida vanhu vake. Security, Mdara Tsvangirai anga asina security mind. Ndochinja ndakaona. That's what I saw pana Mdara Tsvangirai. Foresight yesecurity yanga iri zero. Ndochinhu one chandakafarira kuna Chamisa. Nelson anoziva kuti chinhu chinonzi security, information inobva kuvanhu. Kuti vaChamisa mukafamba nerodhi kwakaipa munoridzirwa futi. Don't use this road. Use this road. Musapinda motikari, pindai motikari. Munhu anotya Mwari who is guided by the Holy Spirit. I remember the other days akadzakanditi mukoma shepherd. Hapana pati uzongwara kupfura Mwari. Izvi patasvika apa ngatisei Mwari pamberi. Ndipo ndakaona wisdom ina Chamisa. Vana spy vana komichi vakaungana mastuja vaona kuti Chamisa, the way Chamisa yakauya nayo introducing a new political outfit, vakaita sevanhu vavharirwa panze, vana komichi vachinodyiwa gweru vachivharirwa panze maspies aya. Saka vakabva vanoungana vakaenda kuguva vakanochema, vatsvangirai, political party yenyu haichafe yakasplita zvachose. Hapana kumboita kana 2 months. Save vakabva ozari mapfupa anotenderera so, uri mukofini uri muguva wakafa so, mapfupa anotenderera. Save vakabva vachinja direction yavakarara nayo. Vanga vakarara mudenga so vakarara nerutivi kudai. takaona zvaakuzvitosorana kweke zvaakurovana. And our Zimbabweans politics is now, it is very dangerous because the way urombo, especially makambozviona here maizo vanhu vaivepo during the struggle war, nguva yehondo urombo hwakanyanya stere, and ukaona nyika yane urombo hwakawandisa, the next thing chinenge chakuitika mishonga nekutengesana nekuurayana. Ukapinda muno mu-UK kuti munhu anga kutengesa, kana ukaona watotengeswa munomu watengeswa nemuZimbabwe kwete murungu. Pamba pandogara panapa, neighbor wandoziva zita rake, anemba yakabatana nenu anonzi Mati, neanemba iri pafurandi pangu anonzi Jeni, neari pamhiri pangu apa anonzi Shoni. Ndo maneighbors angu chete andoziva. The rest andivazivi. Rodhi yangu kubva uko kunobuda uko, vanopfuura vachiti mhoresa ndeipi andivazivi kana vanhu vacho. This is, I've been property in for 12 years, but I don't know them. 12 years I've lived here. I don't know Munanemba next from here or from there or Kuseru. I don't know them. Nezit, I don't know. This is how people in England live. But ndiri kumusha ndaiziva kuti pamba pasera apa ndepa mainini Mavis Nyatsunga, panapa ndepedu, apa ndepa Makumbirofa, pamberi apo ndepe mukoma wangu waMenas, pamberi apo ndepa Azuzi, kafamba paZuzi kana pamberi apo ndepa Babaningi. Ndaiziva raini rese maini unanzi lu wasekaka, ndaiziva raini rese kunobuda raini rese kubva kutanga kusvika kumapeto. Mai vaiti vakakutuma enda kwamainingi unopuwa sauti, aubvunza ufamba uchibvunza pamainingi ndepapi. Inini pandakagara panapa, people who surround me 5 meters away from me, I don't know them. This is how we live in UK. So kana ndatengeswa inini ndatengeswa nemuZimbabwe, not nemuBritish. And all. Saka we have got a problem in our country. Save was surrounded. And when surrounded Save, they were just spoilers. People who amassed wealth through kutishandisa isusu. You would know someone anogara aumzi muno maumzi. Neighbor wako chaicha ngoda 10 years usina kuzada anonzana. Akabuda dzongwa akumhoresi. Para neighbor wangu akauya apa ndichigadzira garden rangu akanditi, how are you? Ndikati, don't right. Couldn't even recognize it. That's how I like your garden. Oh, thank you so much. That's it. I have atoenda. Anganofura nembwa dzao. Ukaona muBritish achida kutaura neni kazhinji kacho, anomamisa imbwa yake padhoa. Ine ndakamira apo ndakamutarisa, imbwa yake ichimama padhoa pangu, pagedhi pangu. Padobuda nomubvunza kuti, are you going to pick your dog poo? What, yeah. How are you? I'm fine. No, that's fine now. Nonga dragi rembwa rofamba oenda. But I don't see what anonzana. Chakuratidza one day muneba wangu anogara uko anofamba nekamu ndoziva zita rembwa yake kanonzika Aufi, iye handimuzivi ndanonzana. So this is how people live in the United Kingdom. And on. Saka takuenda in a critical situation, takuenda kwa another election, atsuku zeki yaramba ne voters roll. It's a critical issue. Yoyo. It's a major issue every time when we go to an election. This is an issue that makes election disputable. Right, tine a constitutional court inoziva zvainoita, kwete a captured constitutional court. Election were gonna be suspended until ZEC allows people of Zimbabwe to have a voters roll. Because there are quite a lot of things that we want for voters roll. Ukavabvunza hanzi pane ma personal details evanhu. But every election we go, like 2018, makaona ED mnangagwa achisendera munhu wese ari pavoters roll message achiti my name is ED ndivoterewo. Where did he get all that information? Obvious, ZANU-PF has got a voters roll. But all other political players are not given that voters roll. And Saka tikutaura the future of politics in our country, the future of elections in our country, if we allow this to continue, there is nothing that we are doing. We are going to spend probably 100 years under ZANU-PF. 100 years under ZANU-PF. ZANU-PF will be the controlling machinery of our elections. ZANU-PF will always or almost play the same trick. A trick that they played in 1960. A trick that they played in 1990. 20, 30 years ago, they are still playing the same trick. And I'm going to tell you this new generation here has failed to detect that trick and put a stop to that trick. And we allow those thieves, we allow such type of people to hold office in the government or to form a government. When they form a government, there is nowhere they are going to allow a release of that election voters' roll. Because by now they know our behavior as voters. That even if we say we don't give them the voters' roll, they don't care. They still go into an election. If they refuse to go in an election, they are not the only opposition party. We've got spoilers who sponsor them. We go into an election and we tell them you have been defeated. 𝗿𝗲𝗃𝗀𝗃𝗀, and they endorse our victory. We continue to rule the country. They are not worried about the voter turnout. How many people are going to turn to vote? They are not worried about that. Because they know they've got a voters' roll. When they conduct their elections or conduct their campaigns, they use the voters' roll to make sure that they cover all the areas which are very important. And more. Saka, a vote, ladies and gentlemen, is your right. And it's in the Constitution. And it's your right to vote. And it's in the Constitution. It should not be dictated by any person or any political party. You should be dictating your vote on your own. Because you constitute the electorate. Zimbabwe has got almost 5 to 6 million registered people who can vote. So the actual figure of registered voters, we don't know. Because we don't have the voters' roll. If we had the voters' roll, we would know how many people have registered to vote in Zimbabwe. But when we tell ZANU-PF that this is our right, enshrined in the law, in our constitution, that we must have a voters' roll. Failure to get that voters' roll, it's because of we are failing to get the voters' roll because of ZEC. ZEC is supposed to be an autonomous. It must be an establishment that has been established constitutionally, being autonomous and responsible for administering our elections or administering the electoral process. Part of the electoral process in our country is to furnish the opposition with the voters' roll. So under the supervision of ZEC, free and fair elections already are a dream. For Zimbabweans to realize a free and fair election under ZEC supervision, already it's a dream. It's a dream already. Because ZEC, ZEC as a commission, it is mandated by the Constitution or it is given powers by the Constitution to be the superintendent or to superintend or to supervise our elections, to give our elections direction and control that election. So if they refuse with the voters' roll, I don't know how they are going to control the election as a commission. And the commissioners are appointed to oversee preparation of that voters' roll and make sure that every political player who demand that voters' roll must have it. Because ZEC must be guardian of a free and fair election. So already the election cannot be labeled free and fair when we can't get that voters' roll. These are just organizations. These are clubs. zvimagurupu zvekukandirana zvinoitwa nemadzimai zviya zvekuti mwedzi uno tiri kupa Yudha, mwedzi uno yatopa Ningi, mwedzi uno yatopa Ningi. They are not credible organization or a formidable organization that can buy it. They are different from ECOWAS in Western Africa. SADC is toothless bulldog. African National Union is a toothless bulldog. Tendai Biti wins to represent Shapiro. I'm not sure. Ndichatarisa boss zvaanaunswa here mukoma chicho. Boss Bita wina kuward 9. Akadyiwa namakamu kuward 18. So the results abuda apa ndekuward 9. Ekuward 18 akabuda, if you tally them together, Tendai anzi ari kurowa. Confirmed papi mdara. Both my results ekuward 9 nekuward BTS 1. Oh, thank you so much. So kana Tendai awina, yes. My advice 56 minutes ago. Yeah, kana Tendai awina, because anza awina kuward 9. Akajigwa kuward 18. So there are two results that you should tally. I think they are giving Makama about 300 something against 200 something. Shapiro, I don't lie, you know me. I know Mkoma Chichi. Let's wait the confirmation maybe tomorrow. So one of the most important features of democracy, as I've stated, guys, it's a free and fair election. And the ZEC is an institution that should be independent, which should be the guardian of a free and fair election in a democratic society. You understand? Because democracy means government of the people, by the people, and for the people. So, a government that is going to be formed by a political party that wins an election, it will utilize people who are elected by the people to form a government. And that is democracy. So if we can't get the voters roll, if we don't know how many people are registered to vote in Zimbabwe, then democracy isingachaite apply. Because we want to hold elections, and those elections must be free and fair. This is an essential component of democracy. For democratic system to be a democratic system, the component is a free and fair election, which is a basic structure given by the Constitution. Our Constitution stipulated that look, the Commission has to take many efforts to make sure the elections are successful and the elections are free and fair. This is what our Constitution always say. And if we don't abide by the Constitution to say give these political parties a voters roll, they need to know how many voters are registered there. They need to know. If we don't have it, then already the issue of democracy is in question. And free and fair election are intensive care unit. Madam, zvirize. Andimon. Saka zvakawanda when we are talking about a free and fair election, because we should look at the functions and the powers of ZEC, because their failure to release the voters' roll, that it's unconstitutional. They are not abiding by the constitution of the country, because those people who are on that voters' roll, they registered on their own. They voluntarily gave their information to ZEC, fully aware that the information would be used by political parties when it comes to an election. You see, this is why we've got a number of political parties. This is why we've got loads of people who are going to choose. And this provision of that voters' roll, it will remove or avoid confusion. Because already there is a confusion here. ZEC has got a headache. The Constitution is forcing them to release the voters' roll, but their paymasters, which are ZANU-PF, are refusing. So there is confusion already in ZEC. So ZEC has already proved not to be a good administrative machinery of an election. And this confusion that they are creating, it will confuse even the electorate. The political parties are confused. And this ensures that a free and fair election won't be held in our country. Under such circumstances, the people of Zimbabwe must not be cowed. The people of Zimbabwe, if you vote, don't go home. Stay at the polling stations until the ballot paper, the ballot box is opened, counted, and you get your results. You can only go home with your results. Because even the limits that are put by our constitution, they are not even followed by this electoral commission. It has made elections impossible in our country. ZEC has made elections impossible in our country. They can't even fix legal issues which are arising. It's because those people are ZANU-PF affiliates, people who get money from ZANU-PF. Anzvishapera paZambia vamwe vochema nezvikwambo zvavakasiya, same laws will be used in 2030, they repealed. Pakaipa. Saka, isusu, I'm not sure how we can overcome this, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not sure. Because in other countries, certain people, they appoint observers to go and watch when registration is being done, to go and see if there are irregularities and raise them there and there. Contestants are allowed to appoint certain people to oversee the preparation of the voters' roll. It's not a secret. Voters' roll is not a secret. It's public information that should be given to political parties, because they are contestants, they are players in this issue. And the demon. So now we are in a campaign period. We are in a campaign mode. Few days to go to the elections. And the people still haven't been given voters' roll. Few days to go into an election. The direction of our elections is not seen. How elections are controlled, how the voting system was done, how the final electoral roll has been prepared. No one has an idea. No one has got the details of what is happening now. Candidates are in confusion. Even today, we write affidavits to approach the courts. We've got few days left for us to go into an election. And then we're going. Saka, I don't know, ladies and gentlemen, that we have allowed ZEC to play a very dangerous card. Because if ZANU-PF rig this election, for us to go 5 years under ZANU-PF with the current conditions, nyika haichamiri zvakanaka. Musazoshamisike kuona Zimbabwe mane civil war. I want you to mark my words, what I'm saying today on the 17th of June 2023. That if ZANU-PF rigs this election, assisted by ZEC, an institution which is supposed to be independent, which should oversee free and fair election, Zimbabwe is leading into a civil war. As I'm going Jeff Banks could have Zimbabwe in I want you to mark my words. Keep this presentation and remind me, if ZANU-PF rigs this election, we are going straight into a civil war with the current situation in our country. Zimbabweans can no longer afford ZANU-PF. This is why you see last time I was telling the world that, look, there is no point of the United States and America to maintain sanctions against ZANU-PF now. Those sanctions are like a web. If that spider puts a web inenge ichida kubata zvinhu zviri soft kudya zvakaita senhunzi, but zvinozobatwa panobatwa hwiza, panobatwa ngoko, panobatwa zvii zvinofira muweb imomo. So sanctions put by the British and by the Americans, it's like a web. Isusu ngoko tingobatwawo imomo, zvichembere zviri kungobatwawo imomo, madhongi nemombe zvekumusha zvongobatwawo imomo web imomo. So they are using sanctions as an excuse to rig election, accusing us of being puppets of the West. This is why I'm saying, considering that these sanctions were imposed in 2021, in 2001, this is 2023, we should have seen the effects of those sanctions. But you will find that Mnangagwa is even allowed to travel to United Kingdom to come here under sanctions. To come to this country, attend the inauguration or the coronation, Prince Charles. Under sanctions. He has traveled to America. He has traveled everywhere. But Arba travel ban. So we have not seen the impact of the sanctions, the effects of the sanctions on those people who were put on sanctions. And they are using them as an excuse to rig the election. If 𝘃cie wants to do something, they are told, no, don't forget about sanctions. And if you see the people appointed there, they're all soldiers and judges who are aligned to ZANU-PF. So already the issue for free and fair election is in a intensive care. So I'm not sure vana veZimbabwe kuti imimi ndimi muripo, ndimi maZimbabweans acho taakuenda into this election. The election is going to take place on the 23rd of August this year. The election is going to produce parliamentarians with a term of parliament. People are going to be in the August House for 5 years. And if we allow that, the August House or their term will expire or will be dissolved. The August House will be dissolved when their term ends, 5 years to come. The dates of the election have already been decided. They have already been decided. We've got 6 weeks left to go into this election. Saka ndiri kutaura kuti now tapinda mu-campaign period. Atina voters roll. We don't know how many people are registered to vote. We don't know. Only 𝘃cie knows and ZANU-PF. We have seen messages coming from Emmerson Mnangagwa. We have never given Mnangagwa our phone numbers. But every Zimbabwean is receiving a message from Mnangagwa. And obvious those numbers were retrieved from the voters' roll. That means ZANU-PF has got the voters' roll. 6 weeks to go to an election. And the election, the polling, the elections will probably take a day or 2 days. Parties are expected now to issue their manifestos. And we are doing door-to-door campaigns. Zimbabwe, a 𝘃cie has done door-to-door campaigns, especially in rural areas. Because it is a political party that has never been allowed to gather in Zimbabwe. 𝘃cie has never been allowed to gather. Has never been allowed to hold campaign rallies. Never. So it has resorted to Mugwazo, doing door-to-door campaigns, trying to persuade people to say, look, that the size situation ya muri. It's no longer a time of sloganeering. Tarisai murukudye. Mune sugar iri pano. Mune salt iri inwava. Mune pekurara iri. Baba masvika 45 years now. Makamboshanda mune pension iri. Kana masvika 60 years mchange makuchengetwa nani. This government cannot afford. Maona ere video and a poster. Ndoda kuti a very good example. Go on my Facebook page. Go and watch a video emu veteran. Achena ndebvunge mpunga. Akapfeka chibhutsu amene kuti chibhutsu chakanhonga kumakuva here, akapfeka madhenda achikambaira achinyepera kuridza pfuti. Ndikati mudhara ndikatora AK ndikati vum padhuze pake, unodhota unozvidhotera mudhara uyu. Sound ye-AK chacha kumuridzira kana kubara chipfira masoro kana kukamu. Unopazha mudhara uyu. Ndo madhara ari kuvhundutsira vanhu kuti we can go back to war. Ukamutarisa so kuti atosimuka pasi angaite kuti kwakwana achitadza kutosimuka pasi. Akomba mamusana wakomba mapera mudhara uyu. Ndo madhara ari kutithreatena kuti ZANU-PF ikawina todzokera kuhondo. Ndati inini maZimbabweans, let's experiment it. Inini I'm a scientist, I like my experiments. Let's experiment it. Tese vaZimbabweans vasina kuenda kuhondo tovhotera Chamisa. Vadyiwo tonoti anoenda kuhondo here mudhara uya. Ukuti kana akata prone position go. Mudhara ndikamuenda kumuti mudhara prone go. Unofit up. Prone position go. Unofit up. Press ups go. Ana kana wani chanoita mudhara uya. Utangana mudisplay ma press ups ni one hand mudhara ta 10. Nita mwamu ta 10. Nombi mudhara ita 2. Akwasikana kusimuka. Akutoremerwa nendebvu. Ndo vanhu we can go back to war if ZANU-PF loses an election. And they are saying this in this campaign period, at a crucial time, when the people are starving. Vanhu vari kuZimbabwe vasvika ma50 years munhu asina kumboshanda. Hana kana sendi rakachengeta, hana kana pension. Kana ungaone pension iri kunasa, hakuna chiriko. Mari anopuwa nenasa ezvino zviri kupuwa mari. Andimona. So, we are at a crucial stage here, where even tikagadzira ma beautiful posters, they don't work. Even tikaunganidza vanhu, munanga kwakaunganidza vanhu akaita ma meetings 100, they don't work. Kana akaita ma processions, munanga kwa they don't work. The people of Zimbabwe are looking at the basics. Ndosaka last time ndakataura inonzi basic, inonzi Maslow's hierarchy of needs, looking at the needs of Zimbabweans. What should be prioritized now? Muna president anotenga helicopter yekuzotakura vanhu vanenge vaita accident. Poitika accident, ma-accident aitika so far there about 10 or 20, hatina patakamboona helicopter ichibhururuka. Those priorities are wrong. And those priorities are wrong, ladies and gentlemen. We need a government that prioritize the needs, basic needs of the people of Zimbabwe. Do you know why today you call it the best finance minister in our country? Is it because when he went there, akanama mabure ekubiwa kwaiitwa zvinhu, akatora zvaibiwa zvacho akaisa kuvanhu, economy ikaimprove. The least paid civil servant during Tendai BT's era, I won $600. The least paid civil servant. Vakatenga dzimota, vakatenga mastenda, vakadzimba pa 5 years bitari finance minister. Saka ndaakutaura kuti whoever is 18 and above, you are allowed to vote in our country. And that right can never be denied by ZEC, can never be denied by anyone. You've got right to choose. Kunyango uri une criminal conviction, that does not stop you from voting. As long as usiri mjeri. Asara mbonzo muna yinzi, aka convictwa ne electoral fraud or offense, havumiri kuvota mZimbabwe. Asanda zvinzwa izvozvo. Kana wanga uri medhara wakabuda kujeri, kana wanga rapist wakaburiswa na Mnangagwa, you are eligible to vote. Don't vote for Mnangagwa. Bozo wakasvika pakurepa kana kuba because of government ya Mnangagwa. Unogona vamwe vanorepa madhara anenge akafirwa nevakadzi kuti achiwana mukadzi wezera hapasisina akusvazvaidzira tuvana tunodiki kuti achinama achirepa. Andiona, a person of sound mind. It's because of hurumende iyoyi iripo ndo yakacreata those conditions dzekuti iwe usazowana mumwe mukadzi kana uchinge wafirwa. So no one is going to force you to vote. Go and vote, guys. Go and vote for 𝘃cie. I am being clear. Kunyangwe voters roll kanza haisi kubuda. Hande tinoungana tovhota tomirapo kusvika vanhu vapedza kuvhota. Mukaona anokainzi vari kuenda kuZANU-PF itai noise ikoko kuchitebhuru chavo ikoko. Kunokwa moita noise ikoko kuchitebhuru chekunzi hanzi vanhu vanonzi unotanga kuzonyoresa kune ZANU kuno. Endai moita noise pachitebhuru chavo ipapo. Hakuna chitebhuru chinoiswa padhuze nenhingirikini nepooling station. Endai moita ruzha ipapo. Andimona. Because chataakuda isusu taakuda kubvisa kutambura kwevana veZimbabwe munyika yeZimbabwe. Ndozvataakuda. Because at the end of this election, we must see 𝘃𝗲𝗄𝐶 forming a government. We must see 𝘃𝗲𝗄𝐶 running the country. We must see, because ZANU-PF is fully aware. Kuti ichingoruza nhasi pato new government, mabure ese mari ziri kubiwa achanama mabure aya. And mari dzakabiwa dzichadzoka munyika. We will approach every country ine mari dzakabiwa muZimbabwe dzakafrizwa back to our country. Mari dzozoinvestwa muzvipatara nekueducation. What we need in our country is education, hospitals, and production. Companies which create jobs. Job create your own company. Employ vashande, pay them. And them on. Saka we want Zimbabwe to be back. Atisukuda Zimbabwe inoona uri kufana nzara. Yokuti ukafamba so ukaona vanhu vasvinu vaenda ngemapenzi vakapfeka madhendi. Chimudhara chake chiumburuka chinzi veteran chichinyepera uridza pfuti ngati baba. Tarisai tsvina ine mudhara uyu. Tarisai bhutsu yakapfeka chaiyo. Kunoku ndikatenderera macharity shops ari muno muUK ezvinhu zvinongonosiyiwa zvinzi mahara. Ndakambotuta hembe designer clothes andakaisa mumadrum ndikaendesa kumusha uko vanhu vakanopfeka. Andimona. Saka ndaakutaura kuti isusu chataakuda ndechekuti ZEC ngaitipewo voters roll. Iyo ikodzero yedu sepolitical party iri kupindawo ma-elections. Guys, handisida kuswedzai. This is 11 o'clock. Videos anzi ari kurebesa vamwana vasuzotratayo vari kutambura kumapedza and so forth. But what I'm saying is 2002 with the same issue, 2005 the same issue of voters roll, 2008 the same issue of voters roll, 2013 the same issue of voters roll, 2018 same issue. Tapinda 2023, which is the 6th election, ZEC ichiramba ne voters roll. Why? This is the question. Saka ngatiuye mangwana tizonzwa kuti why. And saka ndisandapedza, let me still remind maZimbabweans kuti we still have tombstone ra General Ndira Sage roda kutengwa. Saka takataura wakomana tikati tai quotation rekaindibvunza wakomana kuti ndipeka quotation ndakamirira, but ndakataura kuti let's aim to raise about 1,200 pounds kana tikapfuura edu mbichana, because vachazoda kudya, vachada kuita say fuel yekuzotakura dombo racho and so forth. So let's aim about 1,200 pounds, which if you convert it to US dollar could probably be about 1,300 US dollar, which should be enough for that tombstone. Saka for tonight, good night. I'm still waiting to hear from vanhu sense tibatanidzwa komana zvifambe mberi. Hanzi asibiti awina chirara ako. Thanks 𝘃𝗲𝗄𝗶. So let me find out about TB, then I'll come back to you mangwana. Good night.